top of that, it was a box office flop. As a result, many doubted that the long-awaited director's... In a surprising turn of events, the director's cut was released on August 29th. Since I already made a video when the film first came out, I felt it only fitting to revisit it now that we have the full version. And can it redeem some of the more obscure choices the film decided to make?
We will be light. We will be swift.
The extended version decided to stay true to its line. Napoleon was a narcissistic emperor who always led the charges on the battlefield himself. We witness Napoleon's capture of Milan, which serves as the sole footage of the Italian campaign. This is followed by the depiction of the Battle of Marengo. In truth, most of the battles in this film share a similar visual style, predominantly artillery exchanges, until the emperor himself leads a direct charge at the enemy. Long-range combat is a rare sight. The director's cut also includes several scenes illustrating Napoleon's declining health. His painful hemorrhoids, a real issue he struggled with, are highlighted in a meaningful way. These additions are a welcome improvement, as the original cut overlooked this aspect of his life. The Russian campaign of 1812 is given more screen time in the extended version, but the added scenes don't entirely make up for how rushed the lead-up to the campaign feels. Personally, I had hoped the 1813 and 1814 campaigns would at least receive some mention. Unfortunately, my expectations were dashed, as these crucial years, marked by some of the largest battles in European history, are completely omitted. As a result, Napoleon's exile comes swiftly after the Russian campaign, without acknowledgement of these significant events.
The French Council grant you sovereignty of the island of Elba.
The additional scenes, particularly in the first half of the story, significantly enhance the narrative. Brief moments like the execution of several nuns, followed by public outrage and condemnation of the government, enrich the plot. These scenes help slow down the previously rushed pace, making them a valuable addition to the film. Now, let's move on to the most critical aspect of Ridley Scott's director's cut: Josephine.
You will understand what I have sacrificed for you.
As the widow of a French aristocrat and army officer, her loyalty was questioned by the government during the Reign of Terror. We see how she was imprisoned, while her husband, Alexandre de Beauharnais, had already been executed by guillotine in July 1794. Josephine herself awaited a similar fate. However, on July 27, 1794, 9 Thermidor in the French Revolutionary calendar, Robespierre was overthrown and executed the next day, signaling the end of the Reign of Terror. After his fall, political prisoners, including Josephine, were set free. Needing protection for herself and her 2 children, Josephine sought powerful men as lovers, such as Paul Barras. In exchange for security and financial support, she introduced men like Barras to the upper class. This arrangement later extended to a young, ambitious General Bonaparte. The love story between Josephine and Napoleon has often been criticized for its toxicity and supposed lack of real affection, which is puzzling, given that various historical sources suggest that both deeply adored and cared for one another. Their relationship was portrayed as irredeemable, despite evidence to the contrary. The added scenes make their first interactions more fluid, giving us better insight into Josephine's backstory and motivations. But they can't redeem the issues that arose later in their relationship.
Think you're great.
Lastly, let's discuss the assassination attempt on Napoleon on Christmas Eve 1800, featured in the original trailer. Like many events, it was rushed in the film. Napoleon orders the Duke of Enghien, a Bourbon royal, to be executed, blaming him for the attempt. To summarize the video, while the extended version of Napoleon adds some minor plot points, crucial moments like the Italian campaign and the Battle of Leipzig are still missing. The film was doomed from the start. You can't capture Napoleon's entire life in one movie without rushing it. Misguided direction and acting further strip the film of emotional depth. Even with an extra hour, it feels more like a parody than a serious epic.
For their attempt on the liberty of this country! They're trying to kill me! They're trying to kill him! I will kill my brother if he betrays the freedom of the French people. Get it out!